Today I have my cup of tea and we're just gonna have a nice sort of sit down chatty video. I don't do many of these, but I think I should do more because I really enjoy them. If you have your paints or your sketchbook nearby, please feel free to just have me in the background while I'm talking and paint something that you love. Today I wanted to talk about 6 things I wish I knew before I went full-time as an artist or illustrator. I usually use artist and illustrator kind of interchangeably because to me they're very similar. As an illustrator, I view myself more as someone who does a lot of freelance work for clients, and as an artist I see myself as someone who likes to explore new mediums and try new things and paint freely and do whatever I want when it comes to painting. So I feel like I'm kind of somewhere in between. First thing that I wanted to talk about might sound a little bit cliche, but it's very, very true. As someone who's been through it, money will not make you happy, and having those dream clients, it's an amazing feeling, but it won't make you happy either. What will make you the most happy at the end of the day is making art that you're really proud of, that you feel like people resonate with, and that you feel appreciated for. To give you a little bit of a story, when we were in kind of the midst of the pandemic, I was reached out to by someone who was working for Lana Del Rey, and I got to make a illustration for Lana Del Rey, and that was like the height of my career. That was amazing. And also I was going through a really weird time in my life at the same time. I was going through all these emotions at once, and looking back I realized how like I felt so good about this moment that I got to work for someone so well known and would be such a dream project to anyone, I'm sure. And looking back now, I feel like joy that I get on a daily basis from creating art that I feel resonates with who I am and also just brings me joy to create, and that other people appreciate as well, is much more fulfilling in the long term than one big project that I had at the one time. And I also want to mention, through the pandemic again, my Etsy shop and everything was just everything was blowing up at the same time. People were online a lot. They were finding me through Pinterest or through Instagram. My followers shot up from I think it was 5,000 to 35,000 within weeks. And it just was a crazy time. It was really if you look at it from an outer perspective, it was probably the height of my career. And it's not to say that it won't go back to that, but it's just, I think now I'm in kind of a more, it shoots up, and then I think now I'm kind of in a more stable part in my career where I feel really comfortable. I feel happy to do what I do. I have goals and motivation to move forward, but again, the day-to-day joy that I get from creating art that is joyful for me is worth much more to me than the paycheck. Second thing I wish I knew is that you really do not have to limit yourself to one style or one medium. I set out to be an illustrator that used gouache only, or in the very beginning I was actually making illustrations on my iPad, and I was like, this is my style, I can't spend time exploring other mediums because this is my style, I've decided on it. But then I had this kind of feeling inside me that I was missing out on something. I was missing the tangible feeling of paper and paint and getting things messy, and that was very much a part of me since I was very young. So having this one style that was very digital and very kind of structured with lines and everything was very, I don't know how to explain it. I felt like I was in a bit of a shell, like a cocoon. I wasn't letting myself go out and explore the different mediums and things that would allow me to really find my creative path. And once I let go of that thought that was kind of holding me back, I just started experimenting with every medium you can think of. I was painting with watercolors, gouache, pastels, acrylics. I was really doing everything and trying everything, and it was the best and most confusing time. It was so eye-opening, and that's kind of actually what led to my style of work that you see now. And looking back, I don't have any regrets of kind of holding myself back from the beginning, but I wish I knew that I would still be able to be successful if I changed my art, if I changed my style, if I changed my way of doing things, that people would still appreciate it even more. So I know that social media can kind of make us feel like we have to stay in this box and not explore our style outside of what we're creating. But I think in real life, it's really the opposite. I think once people kind of know you for a certain style, the more you kind of expand and grow as an artist, the more that's going to change. But people will still be able to see your own personal taste in everything that you're making, because if it's something that you are creating out of your own joy and your own, your own intuition, then people can see it. They definitely can. Maybe at first they can't look at two things and be like, oh, I know that's Sabina Fenn, but they can see the resemblance and the style carries over. So even now, you might see that I still have paintings that look a little bit different than things I've done in the past. And sometimes it's just an experiment, or sometimes it's just finding different ways of doing things, or feeling more confident with layering thicker paint. And that's just, to me, such a beautiful part of being an artist, is allowing yourself the freedom to explore and create different things and not keep yourself bound to one style. The third thing I wish I knew, this is a sensitive topic. I wish I knew how, I don't want to say easy, but how capable we are of making money as artists today. I really believe that if you are making art that makes you joyful, you'll find your people who will love your art, who will buy your art. You'll find different avenues for it. For example, when I started making paintings that I felt really joyful in making, I found kind of a really good spot in the home decor industry. And now my art is licensed to all these major retailers across the globe. I'm not gonna say who this was because I don't want to talk badly of anyone in my life, because everyone has been very supportive, but people used to say to me that I need a job. I need a full-time job. There's no way, like, I can't make it as an artist. They would say things like, if someone paid you so-and-so to paint every day, would you take the job? And I was like, well, no, because then I'm painting what they want. I'm not painting what I want. And it's just so true that the more you put in it, the more you'll get out of it. But also, if I took a salary job out of university and I didn't pursue my art career, I would be making less than I am now, no doubt, like no doubt. And yes, I worked hard, but it was work that I love to do, and it's work that feels very aligned with who I am. So if anyone tries to tell you that you can't make money as an artist, just don't listen to it. It's just noise. I know people only speak out of experience. They know what they know, and they don't know what they don't know. Just let that fly over your head. It's a really good industry to be in my opinion. Fourth thing that I wish I knew when I started is to really diversify. When I first started, I knew that I had to have multiple revenue streams. I was listening to tons of podcasts, I was watching YouTube videos, I was learning all about money and finances and building a business. And I'm sure if you're looking to build a business, I'm sure you're aware of this too. But yes, having multiple revenue streams is very important, but it's also important to diversify in everything you do. So anytime that I find myself stressed in my business is because I'm relying too much on one platform to support me. So for example, if I just leaned on my Etsy shop for support financially, I would be stressed because everything tends to flow, everything goes up and it goes down, and it just depends on the seasons and what's going on in life around us. You have to have these other things that will support it. However, what I didn't know is that this should also apply to social media and marketing and the type of projects that you do. I had a bit of a harsh lesson. I think it's been 4 months now, 3 or 4 months now. I got an email from a hacker who managed to get to my Instagram and took it over and deleted it. So all of my thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers, no, not hundreds, tens of thousands of followers were gone. Just like that, everything was gone. I had maybe a couple thousand subscribers here on YouTube, and that was it. I had no, like, barely any social media presence other than Instagram, which is scary. And I look back at it now and I'm like, gosh, I should have really like spent more time on different platforms, because there's so many different ways that you can reach people now. So now what I do when I post a reel or photo on Instagram, I share it to YouTube, I share it to Pinterest, I share it on different platforms. I'm not on TikTok. I am on TikTok, but I don't use TikTok because there's too many platforms for me at this point. Really like try to diversify not only where your money is coming from, but also where people are finding you. So really leverage Pinterest, leverage YouTube, Facebook, TikTok if you're on it, Etsy. Etsy is actually like, you can be really strategic with it. You could reach out to your customers anytime and send them a message and say, hey, like, how are you doing? Just want to send you a nice coupon. Thank you so much for supporting my work. Stuff like that. Just keep creating. Oh, and an email list too is very important. So keep creating ways to connect with your audience that is not only on one platform. It's a big one. Also, just don't know what the future is of Instagram or social media. The last point that I want to mention that I wish I knew before is to really ride the wave. And what I mean by that is, get worked up when you hear no. Don't get down on yourself when someone makes a nasty comment about your work. Don't get stressed when things are slower financially. Just ride the wave. I can tell you, like, off the top of my head, a few times where I said I can't do this anymore, like I'm giving up, it's too much. If someone reaches out to me and sends me a critical comment that is not constructive and not helpful, and unfortunately it happens once in a while, I feel like I'm lucky that I don't actually get them a lot, but I've had my fair share of just awful comments over the years, and if I let myself listen to them and get down on them all the time, I wouldn't be where I am today. You really have to, if you're going to be sharing your art out there, I know it's scary, but 99.99% of people will adore your work and will love to see more of your work. And then there will be like the 0.0001% who are just like bored at home and have nothing good to say. Those are the types of people who will make comments to you, but you don't have to listen to them, and you have to learn to just develop thick skin and push through it. I also had bad experiences with agencies. I had bad experiences with projects going south. And not necessarily that I did something wrong or that they did something wrong, just sometimes things didn't work out quite the way they were supposed to, and you have to learn to bounce back from these things, and you have to learn to push through that and just ride the wave and know that good things are coming next time, and it's just here to teach you something and to help you get stronger and help you get better as an artist. I'm gonna go ahead and stop here because that's honestly all that I can think of. Maybe I'll learn more over the years and I'll make sure to share that with you, but yeah, I hope that's helpful and kind of encouraging, and know that wherever you are in your career, you're doing great, you're doing your best, I know you are, and just keep going, keep pushing through. There's a place for every artist in this world, I really believe that. Thanks again for watching. If you'd like to be part of my little Patreon community, please do join us. We do a monthly live Zoom session, which is either a tutorial or a Q&A or both. Based on what you guys request. So if you'd like to join, I'll make sure to leave the link below. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.